Today's 1102nd day that comes here lessons I learn. I'm learning. I hope to support your dreams, your goals, allow you to become the person that you want to become. I was 17 years old. It was summer. It was August. Beautiful day in Lithuania summer. And I was 17 years old, but already a young individual reflecting on my last couple of years in school. Because of course, September coming up, I will need to go back in school and will be in 11th grade. And I was reflecting what I will do now. And I found that last couple of years in 9th and 10th grade, I was really not doing very well. From first to 8th grade, I was one of the best in the class. In 9th and 10th grade, I didn't do anything, just barely surviving. And of course, I was not doing well. And I said, I don't want that. I don't want that anymore. And I was reflecting on my future and I was looking, okay, what kind of career will I choose? And I was looking different careers. I was looking how much they make. And I said, okay, let's build a goal. Let's make a 10-year plan that I will follow. 7 years old, and I made a 10-year plan. So, okay, finish my school, 2 years. Get great exam results, and go to college, university to study finance. 4 years, so 6 years. And then next was get a great corporation to work for, massive corporation to work for to really develop my skill set. And that's for the next 4 years. And of course, I created a plan and it worked very well. I in 11th, 12th grade, I was one of the best again. I finished my school very well. I went to study finance. I went to work at a big corporation. So everything went by plan. But what was the saddest part was that after those years, what was the saddest part about those years that I realized that I worked so hard for 10 years for something that actually I didn't want. After achieving everything when I achieved everything what I wanted, I realized I worked so hard for something that I really didn't want. I really didn't want. There's something else that I wanted. And of course, at that moment, I felt disappointed. I felt devastated. I felt that there's no meaning in life. Like there was a lot of bad thoughts in my life was at that moment. I was 25 years old, and I needed change. I needed change. I need to go to a void. I think that's a void. Sometimes it's a terrible word because it seems that it's an empty space. But sometimes when you enter that void, what you actually go into real space of transformation. That's what happened for me, and I think that every single person needs to experience that. And sometimes, for example, me, I was pursuing something that I actually didn't want. But I think sometimes people have different kind of experience. Maybe they have a massive block or obstacle or adversity in their life, and they will need to really have that realization as well that they need to change where they're going because might be that the things that they wanted they will not be able to achieve it. So today we'll really want to focus on three things that's really comes out of it, what came out for me, and it might be that you will need to experience that in the future, or maybe you are experiencing it right now. So number one, inner transformation. Inner transformation. So that means that when you realize that you will not be able to achieve your goal for different reasons, maybe because you realize that this is not your goal in the first place, or maybe you will not be able to achieve because of other reasons, external reasons, your internal reasons. It doesn't matter. That means that it will be an inner transformation. And I think that we need to understand that sometimes inner transformation, and sometimes we pursue goals because we think one way about ourselves, we pursue that goal. But I think that sometimes we just not aware of ourselves. And self-awareness is internal light in the room, internal room, light in the room. I think a lot of times we have a dark room of awareness because we are sitting in the dark. I think that in our room, internal room, we have a lot of mirrors. We potentially could see ourselves in a mirror. But if there's no awareness or zero awareness, that means you're sitting in the dark. And if you're sitting in the dark, that means you make decisions based on a worst picture of you, or maybe not full picture of you. And that's why I made when I was 17, I made a picture of myself. I didn't have self-awareness. I just made a goal based on career path and potential salary. But when you actually have self-awareness, at that moment, you're able to really actually see yourself and you're able to really make better choices. because you see yourself. And I think that's transformation when you really achieve that moment, and when you really achieve your goal and you realize that it's not your goal that actually want to pursue. That means that there'll be some challenges understanding, okay, what is me? Who am I? Because that means that this is an amazing opportunity because we're able to really ask that question and understand who we are in the first place. Really go deep into really core foundation. Because I think that at that season of my life, I was very, very, very disappointed. I was a very negative person because I didn't know what I'm pursuing anymore. But I think that it's a beautiful moment because it really allowed me to see a lot of different corners of life. Because now when I pursue something, I know that I pursue from the good place, from the meaning, from me inside. Because I think that when we do not experience that in life, sometimes we do not appreciate the purpose that you potentially have that actually aligns with your values. Because now you are looking into what is my essence and what my essence is telling me to do. So that means we're able to transform ourselves into the person that could achieve the vision that we want. Because I was pursuing the goal not because I wanted that goal, but because just it sounded well, it sounded great. I wanted to work in big corporation because it sounds good in other people's eyes, but in my eyes, in my internal eyes, it was not good. Second thing that those kind of experience that you really have a bump in your life really defines a purpose and in your life. Because when you understand that, you will need to redefine what is your purpose. And I think that one of the best examples is that we need to start using compass instead of map. Compass instead of map. So what I mean by that, compass is just direction. Direction based on values, beliefs, morals, who you are, identity. So compass are all those things. Map could be given by random people, by external things, by culture, by social, by parents, by friends. A lot of people could give you a map and you potentially could follow the map to the T. And you will then end up in a spot that you don't want. Exactly like me. After 10 years of going to one direction, creating that plan, I was creating that plan by social culture rules. And I didn't like that plan. But I didn't know that. And that's why when you follow the compass, what your heart says, what your passion says, what your purpose says, what your meaning says, and you have that direction right in the map. Because map could be sometimes not well designed. Because who designed a map? Because you never been in that. So who designed the map? Most likely someone else. Now, of course, if you have that compass and you know exactly where you're going, at that moment you're able to ask people who are exactly where you want to end up. Ask, what did you do? Where did you go? What kind of steps did you take to get there? So that means you can get even more direction from person who got there. But when you ask what you actually want, so right, defining the purpose is very important. Third thing is living beyond outcomes. I think this is interesting because a lot of times people feel disappointed of their life, of their achievements, because they're just looking for outcomes. Because I wanted to have some kind of career and theoretically achieved my outcome, but not exactly because I ran away from that outcome. But when I look into the process, because I achieved with that outcome, having that outcome in mind much more than without that outcome. Because before having that goal in mind, before that having that outcome in mind, I was failing in my school. Probably if I didn't have that goal in mind, if I didn't have that 10 years plan, I probably would not be that good at finishing my school. I probably not be finishing exams that well. I would not get my free education. I will not finish my school and education. I will not have an opportunity to work in a massive corporation where I learn a lot. So it means even though that I didn't achieve my outcome with the desire that I wanted, with the perspective that I wanted, I got so much more out of it having that goal. So that means that it's very, very important to have that outcome in your mind, but understanding there's much more beyond that outcome. How much you learn trying to pursue that, I mean, sometimes is much more than the outcome itself. And that's why there are so many successful people said that it is not that making million, that the million is not the true goal. True goal is becoming the person who's making that $1 million. That means becoming the best version of you, becoming the person that you could be proud of. That's his true goal. And that's just beyond outcome, because your outcome is making a million, achieving some kind of goal. It doesn't matter what kind of goal it is, but the true goal is developing the person who is able to achieve that outcome, who is able to achieve that goal, even though there's, as I said, that sometimes we'll need to change that outcome, to change that goal for different reasons. And we're not supposed to feel disappointed because of that, even though that I know that at some point you will feel that way. I felt this way. I felt very disappointed. It was really, really bad. I was devastated. But when I went to that void and said that I'm going and explore life, and I went start to meet business owners who think differently, who connect dots differently, and I start to see that there's different way of living, and I said, okay, I connect with this life. I connect with new things. I love exploring. I don't like structures. I love building structures. I don't like to align myself in something. I love to create something. At that moment, I realized, okay, I need to build my lifestyle differently. At that moment, I realized, okay, even though that I start rebuilding my life from scratch, that will be much more fun. Will be much more difficult because I start something that I never knew before. I never had any friends, never anyone in living this way. I knew that sometimes, sometimes when you make a difficult but important decision, do you want to pursue that easy but is not meaningful, or do you want to pursue something hard but that has a lot of meaning and fulfillment? And I made that choice. I made a choice. I said that I better pursue meaning. I better pursue something with meaning, even though there's a 1% chance. I better die trying rather than pursue something that is too small for me. And I hope that you reflect as well. Like, what are your goals? Because the most important part is being in alignment with what you truly want, what you truly desire. And of course, that sometimes pursuing something that you don't want is the best thing. And sometimes pursuing what you want and then failing is the best thing as well. Because it's really reveals who you are. Because I think that I will look to end with one of the best examples is that when success, everyone is great. When during the failure, sometimes we reveal who we are. And the best example for that, what I found, is that every single person have a cup. And we pour in that cup our experiences, our emotions, everything. We pour in that cup, and no one else knows what is in that cup. Nobody knows. Only you know. And sometimes even you don't know where. So during successful days, you're walking straight. That cup is straight. Everything what is inside stays in the cup, and nobody knows what's in the cup. But everything changes when difficulty comes into your life. Everything changes when there is a massive bump on the road in your life. What happens? There is a massive bump, so that means what was in the cup will fall out. That means will fall out, splash on you, on the people around you. Again, what is in the cup will dictate what other people will see. Do they see some kind of envy, disappointment, anger, jealousy? Or do they see gratefulness, kindness, everything what you really carry with your cup every single day? So that means failure always reveals what is in your cup. So I hope that you're really pouring in that cup wisely. You pour something that you're not afraid to reveal, that you're not afraid to spill on other people, because failure will make you spill what is in your cup. Because I think that every single cup has a lot of things. That means have a little bit of jealousy, because everyone has a little bit of negativity and positivity. But I hope that in that cup, at least 90% is positive things that we work on to really build that. And of course, that is a manual work, because negativity comes automatic, positivity comes manually, and that's what we need to work on. So I hope that you will reflect, because I shared quite a few things, and really make sure that you pursue something that you want, But if you find yourself that you're pursuing a goal that you don't want, really jump as soon as possible and start working on the goal that you actually want to achieve. So I hope you choose to win and see you tomorrow.